So this video from today, we are starting a beautiful subject, a beautiful course called as Enrolled Agent. What is this course? Who can do this course? All these things, so you will already be knowing. So we'll be starting this subject today called as Enrolled Agent. So before I start discussion on what is this Enrolled Agent course, let me just give you an overview of this course. Okay. Sir, who is an enrolled agent, sir? I'll just give a brief overview for maybe 5 minutes, 10 minutes. So once I give an overview, after that we'll directly step into the subject which we are teaching. Sir, who is an enrolled agent? Like in India, we have professionals such as chartered accountant, company secretary, cost accountant, etc. Okay, who can do a lot of different works. Just like that, in US, no, they have someone called as CPA. In US, they have someone called as enroll agent. These enroll agents are authorized by the US government. They are authorized by US Treasury Department that we can act as their tax practitioner. So those who are going to do this course, they will be authorized as tax practitioners by the US government. Now, you will be representing the taxpayers. Who are the taxpayers? Those people who are filing their income tax return or who want to take your services. You will be representing them in front of whom, sir? IRS, Internal Revenue Services. And you'll also be filing tax returns of those people who are in US. And you'll also handle audits, appeals, etc. of those people who are in US. So if you want to do this work, do what work? If you want to represent any person, US person, or if you want to file income tax return of any US person, or if you want to handle the audit matters of any US person in front of internal revenue systems services, then you will have to do this course called as enrolled agent. So for example, by sitting in India, if I want to file an income tax return of say Nick Jonas, can I file my income tax return of that person, sir? Yes. Say Donald Trump calls me and he says, Dilip, I want you to file my annual income report with the US government. So can I file their returns? If I have done this course, if I do this course called as enrolled agent, I will be able to do that. So any person who is in US or who is earning income from US will have to file a return over there. For filing that return, there will be a person who is required to be who is authorized by their government only, called as enrolled agent. So this is a course which you have to do. Now, which is the regulatory authority for this course, sir? The regulatory authority is called as Internal Revenue Services, IRS, the regulatory authority. So this is the organization which gives you the status of enrolled agent once you pass the examination which is conducted by that, and you fall under this US Treasury Department. So this authority which is there, that falls under what's a US Treasury Department. Now US Treasury Department has a circular called as Circular 230, which gives the power for enrolled agent to practice as a tax practitioner. Now, how should I write an examination? You said, sir, once I qualify the examination, only then I will be called as enrolled agent. Yes. So there is this board called as Prometric Testing Center, which are there at different places globally. In India also we have in Bangalore, Hyderabad, Delhi, etc. So at different locations there are these centers called as Prometric Testing Center. There this test will be conducted, enrolled agent test will be conducted. Now, sir, how can I become an enrolled agent? One is passing the examination which is conducted by this Prometric Testing Centers, or if you are already an officer under IRS. If you are already an officer under IRS, then there is some criteria. If you are already an employee of IRS and if you have a 5+ more year experience, etc., then you also can directly become an enrolled agent. Now, sir, let us directly jump into the subject, sir. We understood who is regulating all these things and what we can do. Now, sir, talk about the subject. Tell us about the subject. How many marks this subject will be, or how many papers will I have? Is it like CPA wherein I'll have to write so many different papers? Is it like CA course which you have in India wherein I'll have to write so many different papers, etc.? Answer is no. In this course, there is only one subject. There is only one subject. That subject is your US taxation. Now, the subject of US taxation which is there, no, they have, for you to clear this examination in an easy manner, they have divided this into 3 parts. Part 1, part 2 and part 3. Sir, repeat. So you have only one subject to study, which is US taxation. Now this US taxation subject which is there, that is divided into 3 parts under this course called as EA. Part 1, part 2 and part 3. Part 1 will teach you the taxation with respect to individuals like you and me. We are all individuals. So if you want to file an income tax return of any individual in US, then you will have to study, you will have to take up this, you will have to study the provisions. All the provisions with respect to those are given in part A. Similarly, part 2 talks about business related. So if there is any corporation, any company is there, any partnership firm is there, any other type of corporations are there. So if you want to learn what are the provisions applicable to them, if you want to file their income tax return, if you want to know how to compute the income of those people, then you will have to study part 2. And part 3 is with respect to representation practices and procedures. So these are all procedural aspects wherein once I know how to file the returns. Now I want to represent my client in front of IRS. Then in such cases, part 3 is there. So basically you will have to write all these 3 papers. Once you write all these 3 papers, please note, they are one single subject only. One single subject is divided into 3 parts. One single subject, US taxation, is divided into 3 parts. And all of these parts will be for all of these parts will have 100 marks MCQ questions, 100 MCQ question, 100 instead of 100 marks. Let us say that it will have 100 MCQ questions, and your examination timing will be 3.5 hours. So 3.5 hours you will have time to write the examination, and all the question will be MCQ based questions only. For passing, out of 130, see, please note here, they don't the measurement is not how much. How many marks you have got. The measurement is based on the scale score. So they give the marks to you based on the scale score. So you are supposed to get 105 out of 103. For example, scale means what, sir? Say, what do you say if someone is asking, what do you rank the beauty of this person out of scale 1 to 10? So out of 1 to 10, how was this movie RRR out of the scale of 1 to 10? You'll say, sir, it was 9.5, it was 10 out of 10, etc. So here they don't give you any specific marks, they rank you based on the scale. So you that scale is up to what, sir? 130. You should get minimum how much, sir? 105 to be called as an enrolled agent. And trust me, it is very easy. So MCQs which are there, some MCQs will have more weightage, some MCQs will have less weightage, etc. So based on that, they have determining this scale. Then, sir, do we have any negative marking? Sir, if I give any answer wrong, will there be any marks which will be cut for that? Answer is no, there is no marks cutting. And sir, how do I write the examination, sir? Will I have to go outside India and write the examination? Answer is no. These are computer based examinations. This examination you can write wherever you are. So for example, I have studied this subject in India. For example, you are studying this subject right now, you are studying in India. Now, will I have to go to US and write the examination? Answer is absolutely no. There are, we saw this point, no, there are prometric centers in India. You will have to go over there physically and they will give you a system, etc. You will have to write your examination over there. Sir, we understood what is this exam pattern, etc. Sir. So, we understood that there are totally 3 parts. Each part will have 100 MCQs and we will get 3.5 hours to write the examination. And trust me, this 3.5 hours is too much. It is too much, actually too much for you to clear this examination. So totally you have 300 questions to answer. Now, sir, is there any criteria of when to write the paper? Should I first clear part 1, then should I go to part 2, then should I go to part 3, or can I write any part, whichever I want to write? Say, for example, I have studied part 3 first. Can I give the examination for part 3, then can I give part 1 and part 2? Yes, there is no such specific format wherein first you will have to write part 1, part 2 or part 3. So in a testing cycle, what is a testing cycle? I'll discuss about that. In a testing cycle, which is normally of one particular year, which will have around 10 months in time. In a testing cycle, you can give your examination in any permutation combination you want to give. Now, sir, what is the subject coverage? Like I told you, part 1 will cover individuals. So wherein what are the filing requirement, how to compute their income, etc. Similarly, part 2. So these are the different topics which are covered under this part called as part 1. Similarly, in part 2, these are the different chapters, and in part 3 these are the different chapters. We'll have to study all these chapters, then only you'll be able to write the examination. Now sir, you said examinations are conducted and I can write any part, etc. Correct sir? Yes. So normally there is a testing window. There is something called as annual testing window. Right now the current testing window is going to start. The current testing window is going to start on which date? On 1st of May 2025, and it is going to end on 28th of February 2026. Sir, current testing window will start on which date? 1st of May 2025. So coming May. And it will end on which date, sir? 28th of February 2026. So now there are 2 months, which is April month and March month. In these 2 months, normally no examinations will happen. So this testing cycle means what, sir? You can write your examination during this period. This is a period of 10 months. During this period of 10 months, you can write your examination. During the month of March and April, no examination will be conducted. Now, after the April is over, from the next year onwards, the next testing cycle will start. It is just as telling, because it is a tax law, because what you're seeing is a tax law. Taxation is a subject wherein there will be some or the other changes which will keep on happening. Because there are some or the other changes which will keep on happening, so lawmakers, what they do is, I mean the US government over there, what they do is they conduct the examination during this period, and then for the 2 months time is there, they update their materials. Whatever material you are going to refer for studying the subject, etc., they'll update those material. What are the changes? They will all pass those changes, etc. And sir, registration for the test that is open throughout the year. You can write it anytime, and it is the examination you can write only at which location, sir? At Prometric centers. Now sir, is there any minimum eligible criteria? Should I be a graduate for writing this examination? Should I pass my 10th standard? Should I pass my 12th standard? Is there any qualification, or can only professional write this examination? I am a science student, sir. Can I also write this examination? So there is no minimum pass criteria over here. There is no qualification requirement. Normally what is required is your 12th standard. So if you are qualified, if you have completed your PUC, in Karnataka it is called as PUC, or if you have qualified your 12th standard, if you have done your +1, +2. So if you have done, so it does not matter whether you have done it in science, commerce, arts. If you have just done your what, sir? +2, meaning if you have done your 12th standard, you are eligible to write this examination. Sir, should I have accounting and taxation knowledge for writing this examination? Answer is no. Because since you are attending the class, we will start it, we will start it from the base level. I will teach this subject as if you have no idea about what tax is at all. Correct? So we will start right from the basic level. But you must at least be of 18 years of age. So if you want to write this examination, the minimum requirement is what, sir? You should be 18 years of age, and you should pass some compliance test which is carried on by them, and you should apply for something called as prepare PTIN. Preparer tax identification number. So before giving the examination, this is like registration process, you can say. This is the registration process which you have to do. So once you register for the course, you can directly give your examination. Now, sir, everything is clear, sir. The eligibility requirement, who can write the examination, all this is clear, sir. Can we start the subject, sir? Yes. I'll just check if there is any person who has asked any, because we are going YouTube live on the first day. I'll just check if there is any question which is asked over there. The eligibility requirement, who can write the examination, all this. Okay. There are no questions. So students, shall we start this beautiful course called as Enrolled Agent? I hope you are all ready. Let us now start. Let us now give the first step in our life towards our journey of earning in dollars. Yes, once you become an enrolled agent, I have many of my friends who work in Big Four, etc. And by them I have got to know all these things that they charge, meaning that company, they charge from $5,000 to almost $500 to almost $10,000 per return for filing one single return. This is the amount which they are charging. Please note, they are charging in dollars. Sir, $500 means what, sir? $500 means if you take, let's say if you multiply it with 80 also, if you multiply it what, sir? 80 also, 500 into 80, for one return you are going to earn how much, sir? 40,000. By filing one return, see, by filing just one return, you are going to make how much, sir? 40,000 Indian rupees. This is a fantastic course. Trust me, once you become an enrolled agent, the amount of earning which you are going to make will be beautiful. And of course, you say, for example, you are a normal BCom graduate. I'm just taking an example. Plus, you have an EA attached to you, because EA is very easy to clear. It is unlike your other professional courses which we have in India. I mean, normally people go for CA, but when compared to your CA, EA is very, very easy to clear. So if you are normal BCom graduate, the salary may be in India right now, the salary is around 35,000 to 40,000. This will be the salary which you are going to get. But if you add extra EA with you, extra 15,000 per month you are going to, that is minimum amount which you are going to earn. Similarly, okay, if you are a chartered accountant working in some company, and if you have additionally EA attached with you, because all the big fours, they are looking for this CA plus EA, this combination they are looking for. And normally if a chartered accountant is getting a package of say 8 to 12 lakhs per annum, if he is getting a package of 8 to 12 lakhs per annum, his package will straight away jump into 20 lakhs per annum, just by adding this one single course in your degree. Okay, and in Big Four and all, if you want to go at managerial level, this is what is something which you'll have to know. Anyways, let us stop discussing about this course and start discussing about the subject which we are going to study. So enrolled agent. So we are going to start our journey with what, sir? Part A of enrolled agent. So part A is with respect to individual taxation. Okay, so part A is with respect to what, sir? Individuals. So now, before starting anything, since I am at an impression that you guys are completely new to this subject, I want to ask you all one simple question. What do you mean by tax? I want to start my discussion with a simple question to you all. What do you mean by tax? What is the meaning of tax? Why government is collecting tax? Sir, tax is an amount which government is collecting from you. It is an amount collected by government to fund their policies which they are making, to fund the different activities which they are going to undertake, etc. So government is undertaking various different activities. Government needs money. They are giving us free education. They are giving us free hospital services. In India also we have something called as government schools and colleges. Correct. So to fund all these things, government needs money. That money is collected by the government from the people of that particular country in the form of tax. Like every country have their own defense. Every country will spend some money towards the defense of the country. They will spend some money towards the basic needs of the people of that particular country. For funding all those things, that government will need money. That money government is collecting from the people of that particular country in the form of tax. Okay, so tax can be of different types, but this is the basic requirement. Why is tax collected, sir? To fund various different activities undertaken by government. So if you would have seen in India also, if you would have seen the roads which are there in India, who do you think has constructed all this road? Have you constructed the road? Have you constructed the road? On the road side, you see there are a lot of electricity poles which are there. Have you installed those electricity poles? Are you paying the electricity bill of those poles? No. Correct. You have not installed these electricity poles. You are neither paying the electricity bill for all these different poles which are installed. Then who is doing that, sir? Government is doing. How is government doing? They are collecting money from you in the form of tax, and they are paying for all these different expenses. You see, there are very beautiful highways. You see, when we see in movies, we see that the roads in the some foreign countries are looking so beautiful. I mean, the road looks so clean, the city looks so clean. How do you think that is all happening? That is because they are collecting money from the people of that particular country for contributing towards those expenses. And that money is collected in the form of tax. Okay? Yes, sir. Now, sir, okay, sir, we understood what is tax, sir. It is a legislature. Legislature is going to levy some amount. They are going to collect some amount from us in the form of tax. Now, sir, when we talk about US country, no, sir, because this is US taxation related, sir, who gave the power to them to levy tax? Sir, see, sir, if government is levying the tax, that means that they have the power to levy tax. Levy means what, sir? They have the power to charge tax from you. So if government has the power to levy the tax from you, charge the tax from you, then they should have, someone should have given that power to them. Who has given the power to them, sir? Like in India, we have our constitution. Constitution of India is the supreme law. Anything if you want to do in India, then you will have to take the permission of the constitution, meaning the constitution should approve that particular thing. Only when something is there in the constitution of India, you can make law with respect to those points. Similarly, just like that, US also have their own constitution. Correct? Just like that, US also have their own constitution. So who gives the power to them to levy taxes, sir? The power to levy tax, the power to levy or impose tax is given by whom, sir? Constitution. Now, sir, these notes, are we supposed to write the notes? I would recommend you to write the notes. I would definitely recommend you to write the notes. And of course, whatever notes I am writing, I will be sharing it with you guys at the end of the day, at the end of the class, at the end of every class. So, but I would still recommend you to write the notes, because there, see, when you see the material which is there, the material will be around of 600 pages, 700 pages. When you see the material, it will be very difficult for you to study from the material directly. So instead of you studying from the material, it is better you write your own notes, because notes will be even more crisp and clear. They will talk only about those points which are more relevant to you, and it will ignore all the extra things which are there, which is given in the materials, etc. So I would recommend you to make your own notes, because for these papers which are mostly MCQ based, having your own handwritten notes will make you qualify that examination to a greater extent. Okay, so I would recommend you to write the notes, and by writing notes, one more thing will happen, that you will be able to remember the provisions in a better manner. That will definitely give a great advantage to you. Definitely you will get these notes, you will get the notes, but then yeah, it is better you also write along with me. Now, sir, who gives the power to levy tax, sir? The power to levy tax or impose tax is given by the constitution. So every we have our constitution of India, just like that the US also have their own constitution. So that constitution is giving the right to the government of that country to collect the taxes. Now in US, no, the tax on income, see, basically there are different types of taxes about which I'm going to talk in a time. There are different types of taxes, but this course which we are going to discuss about the enrolled agent, that talks about US taxation with respect to what, sir? US taxation with respect to income tax. In this course, we are going to learn about income tax, meaning what is the tax which they have to pay income. If you are an individual, how to pay tax. If you are a business, how to pay tax, that you learn in part 2, etc. So our discussion will normally be restricted to what, sir? Our discussion will be restricted only to the provisions with respect to income tax of US. So the tax on income in US, no, it was first established in the year 1862. It was the year 1862 when the tax on income was first imposed by the country of that country. Okay, so US first imposed the collection or imposed the tax on the people of that country on the income of the on the income which they are earning in the year what, sir? 1862. 1862 was the year when they first introduced this, but then later it was abolished. But later it was abolished. Why was it abolished, sir? It was abolished because of war. It was abolished due to war. So we had World War One, World War Two, etc. During that time, they had abolished this, and later they reintroduced this. Later, they amended their constitution, and in the 16th amendment of their constitution, see, this is some basic things before we start the actual subject. I'm not yet started the actual subject yet. So in the 16th amendment, in the year 1913, they made an amendment. In the 16th amendment of the constitution, it gave the power to government over there. It gave the power. Now the government of that country is called as Congress. It gave the power to Congress. Now please note, Congress does not mean our Indian Congress. It does not mean I'm talking about Sonia Gandhi, Rahul Gandhi. No, 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 no. Over there, no, the government is called as, or the parliament of that country is called as what, sir? Congress. So it gave the power in which year, sir? In the year 1913, they made an amendment. 16th amendment of the constitution was done, and that amendment gave them the right to levy. That amendment gave them the right to levy and collect tax on income. So it is from that time, from the year 1913 amendment, from that time, US government are collecting the taxes. Sir, you have written two things over here, right to levy and collect taxes on income. Sir, what do you mean by that, sir? What do you mean by right to levy and collect? See, levy means imposition. Levy means what, sir? Imposition. That, or levy means the power to collect tax. Power to collect tax. And what do you mean by collection, sir? Collection is actual collection of tax. Government has the right to collect, and government is actually collecting. So that actual collection is collecting of the tax, and the levy which is here they are talking about is creating the charge. I'm going to charge the tax on you. When you are earning the income, you have to pay the taxes. In India, we have a concept of previous year assessment here. You earn the income in the previous year, you'll have to pay the tax in assessment here. So just like that, they have the concept of, we have the concept of levy and collection. The income tax will be levied on the income which you are earning, and it will be collected when, sir? In the next year, in the assessment year. That is the concept which we have in India. So just like that, they also have this right to levy and collection. Levy means what, sir? Imposition or charging, creation of charge. And collection means what, sir? Actual collection of the tax from the taxpayers. Now, sir, we understood what is tax. We understood what is, who gave the power to the government of that country to collect taxes. But sir, you were talking about the different types of taxes. Sir, what are the different types of taxes which are there, sir? Can you please tell us about what are the different types of taxes which are there? Types of tax. Please note, whatever discussion I am doing, that is completely restricted to what? That is completely restricted to US tax laws. Okay. So here you cannot, you will not find me discussing about what Indian government is doing, what is the tax which we are collecting in India, why we are collecting this tax in India, etc. I may take example because the more or less the law which is there, or the procedures which are there is same. I may take examples for explaining the concept in a better manner to you, but then our discussion will mainly be restricted to what? US taxation. Okay. So in US, how many types of taxes are there, sir? There are totally 3 types of tax. How many types of tax are there, sir? There are totally 3 types of tax which is collected by US government. In India, we have 2 types of taxes, something called as direct taxes, indirect taxes. So over there, they have what, sir? 3 types of tax. Now, what are these 3 types of taxes which US government is collecting? That 3 types of tax which US government is collecting from the people over there, or from the corporations over there, is tax on what you earn. Tax on what you earn. They'll collect the tax on whatever you are earning, that is nothing but your income tax. Then they will collect tax on what you buy. They'll collect tax on whatever you are buying, and they'll also collect the tax on what you own. So you have ownership of few things. You have something called as wealth tax over there. You have ownership of wealth, and you have estate. You have say properties, etc. So they'll collect on tax on what you are owning. Sir, what is this tax on what you earn? As the name itself is telling, whatever income you are earning, on that income you have to pay tax. That is the tax on what you earn. Example is what, sir? The income tax. Example, corporation tax or corporate tax, I'll write in short. Or if you're an employee of any company, you will have to pay something called as payroll tax. Okay, so this is the tax on your income. Whatever income you are earning, if you are making any capital gain, you will have to pay something called as capital gain tax. So this is a tax which is on the income which you are earning. Which is the tax on your income, sir? Tax on what you earn. Is this the tax on the income which you are earning? It can be income tax, or it can be wealth tax. It can be payroll tax, corporate tax. It can be capital gain tax, etc. Then tax on what you buy. So under in India, no, we have this tax on what you buy. So the tax on whatever you buy in India is your indirect taxes. Whenever you are buying something, they will levy something called a GST, no. So that is the tax on what you buy. For example, your sales tax. Over there it is what, sir? Sales tax. And similarly, they have a tax on whatever you are owning. Example is what, sir? Your wealth tax. There is something called as wealth tax, or there is something called as estate tax. Wealth tax or estate tax. Now, sir, which is the tax which I have to study for my examination? Should I study about all these three types of taxes, sir? Sir, should I study about all these three types of taxes? Answer is absolutely no. You have to study only with respect to one tax, which is tax on income. You have to study about what, sir? You have to study about only this one type, which is tax on whatever you are earning. What is this tax on whatever you are earning? This is your tax on your income. This is there in your syllabus. There in EA course. Sir, I don't have to study anything about sales tax, sir. Nothing you have to study. Not applicable for you. This is not applicable for EA course. Sir, what about the tax on what I own? To some extent, only few points. Few points are important. Or some points you'll study. See, because what happens is, many times it happens, say you have inherent tax under this category, tax on what you own. So parents' property is coming to children's, or parent are transferring the property for the benefit of the children's to anyone. So in that case, though, there are some points related to this tax on what you own, which is there. So only few points is what we have to see over here. Few or some points are applicable. So majorly what is applicable for you? Majorly in your EA course, what is there, sir? The tax on the income which you are earning. So majorly in your EA course, only this, meaning 95% of your syllabus will cover whatever tax you are paying on the amount which you are earning, and only the balance which is there, some part of that 5%, etc., you'll have to study from tax on what you own. You don't have to study anything with respect to the indirect taxes or tax on what you buy. Sir, okay, sir, this is also very clear. Now, before we actually jump into the subject, one more one more point I have to tell you. I'll just adjust this point over here. The nature of tax can be, the tax can have two natures. So from a fresh page, I'll start the subject. What can be the nature of tax, sir? The tax can either be progressive in nature, or the tax can be regressive in nature. Now basically these are called as progressive tax which are progressive in nature are called as progressive tax, and tax which are regressive in nature are called as regressive tax. Sir, what do you mean by this word progressive? Tax can be progressive in nature, tax can be regressive in nature. See, tax can be progressive in nature means as and when your income is increasing, the amount of tax which you have to pay will also increase. So if the amount of taxes which you are paying is increasing as and when your income is increasing, that means they are collecting something called as progressive tax. The tax which they are collecting is progressive in nature. For example, in India, we have income tax. They say that up to 2.5 lakhs, you don't have to pay anything. From 2,50,000 to 5 lakhs, you will have to pay only 5%. If your income is from 5 lakhs to 10 lakhs, you will have to pay 20%. If your income is more than 10 lakhs, you will have to pay 30%. So what is happening over here? Up to some amount, you don't have to pay anything. After that, you have to pay some percentage. After that, some higher percentage. After that, higher percentage. So what is happening over here? As and when your income is increasing, the amount of tax which you are paying also increases. There is one more type of tax called as regressive tax. What do you mean by regressive tax, sir? Regressive tax means they are least bothered about your income. They don't make any discrimination at the time of levying the tax. No, they don't. The person who is levying the tax, they don't make any type of discrimination about who you are, what type of income you are earning, from where are you earning the income, etc. No such discrimination will be made. Directly they are going to levy a tax. For example, in India we have something called as indirect taxes or GST. So now if you go purchase some chocolate from a shop, so whether a small boy who is not earning anything, that person is purchasing the chocolate, or I who is earning some amount in my life, I am going and purchasing that chocolate. Both of us, the person who is not earning and the person who is earning some reasonable amount, will have to pay same amount of tax on the purchase of the chocolate. Correct? So here that tax which is collected by them is regressive in nature. They don't make any discrimination about the person has the capacity to pay or the person does not have any capacity to pay. Or one more example, say a person, say for example, Mukesh Ambani in India, he will be earning huge amount of taxes. He will be earning huge amount of income. So the tax which he has to pay also will be more. Correct? Because his income is more, the tax which he has to pay will also be more. Now, same if I compare with that person with a beggar. So beggar may not have any income or may have a very lesser income when compared to him. Therefore, he will be paying lesser tax. Why, sir? Because income tax is progressive in nature. Regressive in nature means what, sir? Now they both of them went and purchased, say, Parle-G biscuit. They both of them went and purchased a Parle-G biscuit. Now whether it is purchased by Mukesh Ambani or it is purchased by a beggar, they will have to pay the same amount of indirect taxes or sales tax on this particular product. That is regressive in nature. They don't make any discrimination between who you are, whether you are capable of paying more taxes or you are capable of not paying any taxes, etc. No such discrimination will be made. So example, I'll just write one example. Example of progressive tax is what, sir? Your income tax. And example of regressive tax is what, sir? Your sales tax. Have you understood till here? Whatever we have discussed till now, have you understood? This is a fantastic topic which you are starting. Have you understood whatever we have discussed till now? Please note, completely basics I am going, and I am going very slow. I hope you have understood few points which we have discussed. Now we'll jump into the subject. Now we'll do what, sir? Let us now start our discussion on the first topic which is there in your EA course. We are going to discuss what, sir? Part A, correct? So we are starting discussion on Part A, which is individuals. So in Part A, individuals, the first topic which we have is called as filing requirements. The first topic which we have is called as what, sir? Filing requirements. Now, even here I will discuss some basic points which you will have to know to understand, because when you directly from if you start reading from your institute material, if you directly open the book and if you start reading from the institute material, then there may be a lot of things which you may not understand at all. There may be a lot of things which you may not understand at all, because those terms are something which you have which you never know, which you have not seen at all. So therefore I'll talk about some basic terminologies which we are going to use, and then I'll start with the provisions which are there in the material directive. Okay, so first topic is what's a filing requirement. Now, what is our US law telling, sir? Normally US law says, what US law says, sir, US tax law says, normally US laws are also called as federal law. Okay, here in the material, most of the places you will be seeing something called as federal law, federal law, federal law. Federal law means what, sir? Law of that particular government. Normally federal law requires two people. Who are these two people? One is US citizen and another one is a resident alien. Another one is what, sir? A resident alien. Normally the US government requires these two people. Which two people? If you are an US citizen or if you are a resident alien, then you have to report all the income or you have to report your worldwide income. Meaning you will have to report about your global income, whatever your income you are earning throughout the world. You will have to report them while filing their tax returns. Sir, but what do you mean by this US citizen, resident alien? Who is this resident alien? What do you mean by this, sir? Alien means any person who is coming from other country and who is staying over there, or any person who is coming from different planet only and staying over there. Sir, what do you mean by this, sir? See, basically what US government does is, basically US government has divided a person into three categories, or an individual. It is dividing an individual into three categories. For the purpose of tax purpose, they are dividing individuals into how many categories? Three categories. What are these three categories? We are going to discuss in detail about these things in future classes, but let me just, for an overview purpose, I'll tell you what are these three categories which are there. One person is US citizen. Person number one is what, sir? US citizen. Person number one is resident alien. And person number three is non-resident alien. So an individual is divided for the purpose of taxation. For taxation purpose, individual is divided into three categories. One is called as what, sir? Resident, US citizen. Another person is called as resident alien, and third person is called as non-resident alien. US citizen, resident alien, non-resident alien. Sir, who is an US citizen? In simple words, a person who is born in US. If you are born in US, you will be called as what, sir? US citizen. If you are born in US, then you are US citizen. We'll study about the actual meaning of these things in our future classes. But if you are a person who is born in US, then you will be called as what, sir? US citizen. Then what do you mean by resident alien, sir? A person who is not born in US, but he is residing in US. No, sir. Repeat. A person who is not born in US, but he is residing, he is staying in US. A person is not born in US, but he resides in US. So a person who is not born in US, but he is staying or residing in US. And who is this non-resident alien, sir? Non-resident alien means a person who is neither born in US nor he resides in US. He is neither born nor he resides in US, but he is earning from US sources. But he's what, sir? But he's earning from US sources. Sir, can you just give an example to make us understand? For example, there is someone called as Nick Jonas. You know Nick Jonas? Priyanka Chopra's husband. So Nick Jonas, he is born in US. So he was born in US. Therefore, he is what, sir? US citizen. He is a citizen of US. He has US citizenship. Now, Nick Jonas has a beautiful wife called as Priyanka Chopra. Correct? She is an Indian. Now, Priyanka Chopra, she is not an US citizen, but she is residing in US. She is not a US citizen, but she is residing in US. So she will be called as what, sir? Resident alien. So she is a person who is married to Nick Jonas and she is residing in US. Now then, who is this US non-resident alien, sir? Let us say Dilip. Let us say me. Sir, how come you? I am neither. You are an US citizen. I was not born over there. Therefore, I am not an US citizen. And I am also not residing in US. I am staying in India. I am residing in India. Therefore, I will be called as what, sir? Non-resident alien. No, sir, but you said 3 conditions are there. What about the third condition? Yeah, let us say I am filing the income tax returns of those people who are residing in US. So those people will have to pay me money. They will pay me money from there. I am having my practicing firm over here and I am filing their return. So they are going to pay me money from their places. So I will be called as non-resident alien. A person who is not residing over there, not their citizen, and who is earning from that country, who is earning from US sources, then I will be called as what, sir? Non-resident alien. I hope this point is clear to you all. What there are 3 categories. One is called as US citizen, another one is called as resident alien, and the third one is called as non-resident alien. Third one is called as what, sir? Non-resident alien. Now, we'll study about all these things in future. Definitely we'll do a detailed discussion about all these people. Okay. About one person, non-resident alien, no, I'll make you write 2 points because while discussing the first topic, no, that point come into picture. So I'll just discuss about non-resident alien because there are 2-3 points which you have to know about him. Non-resident alien. So have you now understood what do you mean by alien over here? For that country, for US, any person who is not from US is called as alien. Any person who is not an US citizen is called as alien. Okay. So now, non-resident alien means what, sir? If a person does not meet either the green card test. So 2 tests will be conducted. If he is not meeting either a green card test or is not meeting substantial presence test. If a person is not meeting what test, sir? Green card test, or he is not meeting the substantial presence test, then that person will be called as, that person is called as what, sir? Is classified as non-resident alien. Okay. those who are not satisfying which conditions, either green card condition, or they are not satisfying which conditions, are substantial interest condition, then they will be called as non-resident alien. Now, why are we studying about this non-resident alien separately, sir? Because for the purpose of US tax laws, for the purpose of US tax laws, for the purpose of US tax laws, these two people, which two people? For the purpose of US tax laws, an US citizen and resident alien, they are treated as same. For the purpose of US tax laws, US tax laws treats them as same for US or for taxation purpose. For the purpose of paying taxation, tax, no, they are treated as same. Meaning, whatever provision we are going to learn for US citizen, they are equally applicable to whom, sir? Resident alien. But a non-resident alien who is there, no, a non-resident alien. This non-resident alien, he will have to pay tax only on, he pays tax only on income earned. He pays tax only on the income earned from US sources, or from the income earned from what sources, sir? US sources, or he is having any, or from any trade or business in US. So I am earning anything from US sources. For example, so Shah Rukh Khan went over there, he did some performance over there, so he earned some money. So Shah Rukh Khan, though he is not residing in US and he is not a US citizen, he will be called as non-resident alien for US, and whatever income he has earned by doing that live shows over there, he will have to pay tax in that particular country. Or say someone from India has his business over there. There are many people in India who have their businesses over there. So whatever income they are earning from the business or trade which they are doing in US, that on that also they'll have to pay tax over there, even if they are non-resident alien. Please note. If you are an US citizen, first line only we wrote one thing called as, if you are an US citizen or a resident alien, you will have to pay on your worldwide income. You will have to pay tax on what, sir? You will have to pay tax on your worldwide income while filing income tax return. Meaning, wherever you are earning the money, you will have to pay tax in US only. Wherever you are earning the money, it does not matter where you are earning the money, you will have to pay tax where, sir? You will have to pay tax in US only. Sir, okay, sir, okay. This is something which is clear, sir. Now, if you want to, one more basic point I'll tell you. So we understood about the persons who are there. One more basic point we'll tell you. Now, for filing the tax return over there, you will have to obtain some document, correct? So the documents which are required. So there are two types of documents. Documents needed to file tax report. What are the documents required for filing tax reports, sir? See, basically there are two types of documents. One is called as Social Security number. The people who are there in US, they basically get two types of document. One is called as Social Security number, and another one is called as ITIN. So Social Security number is SSN, and another one is called as what, sir? Individual Tax Identification individual tax identification number. So there are basically two types of document. One is called as what sir? SSN. Another one is called as ITIN. Now, what is the difference between that, sir? If I want to explain this in Indian terms, then ITIN is your Aadhaar card. In India, we have something called as Aadhaar card. So just like that, over there, what do they have? They have something called as ITIN. Sorry, Social Security number. They have something called as Social Security number. This is like our Aadhaar card in India. Then, in India, we have something called as PAN card, which is required for filing income tax return. Just like that, they have something called as individual tax identification number, which is required to be used for filing income tax return by those people. Now, what is the use of this, sir? What is the use of this? See, basically, social in US, no, the people over there, they get a lot of benefits. If you want the benefits, no, you should have something called a social security number. Not to everyone will have the social security number. If you're a non-US citizen, you will never get the social security number. Normally, you will not get the social security number. But whether you are a US citizen or not US citizen, you will always get what, sir? Individual tax identification number. So lot of benefits. Like now I'm taking the class in Karnataka. Like in Karnataka, we have this the government, the recent government over here, they launched this scheme called as there will be free bus facility given to all the ladies. So if there is any woman, if she's traveling in the government buses over here, they will get that free bus facilities. Now, the beauty of this is what government is doing. So at the base level, what government has announced, the government has announced that if you are a woman, if you are women means of course the girls are also included, everyone is included. If you are a female, the better word is female. If you are a female, then you will get free transportation facility in public transport, the buses which is run by government. Now what happens is, say if a lady is catching the bus, no, what happens is they will ask for the Aadhaar card. Who the bus conductor is going to ask for that lady's Aadhaar card and check whether that Aadhaar card has an address of Karnataka, or is it issued by a person or issued by is it issued anywhere in Karnataka. Meaning, if there is a lady who is having an Aadhaar card of, say, Tamil Nadu government or Maharashtra, Aadhaar card is issued by central only, which is issued in the state of Tamil Nadu, or which is issued in the state of Maharashtra, or which is issued in the state of Rajasthan, or which is issued in the state of UP, then those people will not get any benefit. Though they are female, they will not get any benefit. So the females who are going to get this benefit are who, sir? The females who are going to get these benefits are only those females who have a valid Aadhaar which is issued in the state of Karnataka. So just like that, US government also does the same thing. They also do the same discrimination. If you are a person who is staying in US, you will not get all the benefits. Only if you are a US citizen, you will get lot of benefits, like free education benefits. You will get at the time of retire. Once you cross, if you are a senior citizen, there are a lot of medical benefits which will be given to you. That benefit will be given to you only if you are a US citizen. If I'm not an US citizen, sir, you will not get that benefit. So for those people who are US citizen, no, they issue something called a social security number. So based on that social security number, lot of benefits are given to them. And if I want to file my income tax return, then US citizen can use their social security number, or the actual document for filing income tax return is called as what, sir? Individual tax identification number. I hope this is clear to you all. Sir, you say that this is individual tax identification number. Sir, what if a company has to file income tax return? For them, there is separate document which is there. There will be separate document which they will be giving. So because our discussion over here will be restricted to what, sir? Our discussion over here, we are studying only part A. Our discussion will be restricted to with respect to only individuals. Okay, taxation of individual. I'll just write 2 lines about these documents and then we'll start with our first chapter. Okay. Social security number is issued to US citizen any person holding this will have will get all the benefits from that government. All the benefit from their government. The US government will give a lot of benefits, which we don't have to, of course, know about those benefits. What is this UTIN, sir? ITIN is issued to non-US citizens. ITIN is issued to whom, sir? They are issued to non-US citizen for filing their tax returns. It is given to those non-US citizen to whom social security number is denied, is not given. ITIN are issued to both resident alien and non-resident alien regardless their immigration status. Okay, irrespective of what is their status, they will be given this document. Now, if there are returns which are required to be filed. Okay, these people who are there in US, they have to file a return called as form. We'll study about all these things because these are the points which are going to come on regular basis while we are making the discussion. I'm just telling this. Normally, the income tax return which you have to file in US is called as form 1040. Form what, sir? 1040, and there is one more return called as 1040 SR. See, normally, what is the income tax return which is filed over there? The income tax return which they have to, the people in US have to file is called as Form 1040. This is their income tax return which is recorded filed by everyone. Every person who is earning over there, from there, etc. They'll have to file a return called as Form 1040. But if you are a senior citizen, who is a senior citizen, sir? That person whose age is more than 65 years. In US, who is a senior citizen? If you are a person whose age is 65 years or more, then you will be called as senior citizen. If you are a senior citizen, then you will have to file something called as Form 1040 SR. Okay, SR is what, sir? Senior resident. So Form 1040 SR is required to be filed by those people who are senior citizen but residing in US countries. Okay, senior citizen who are US. Form 1040 is required to be filed by everyone. Now, let us start our discussion on chapter number 1. What is chapter number 1, sir? Preliminary work to prepare tax return. Okay, so what is the first work which you have to do for filing tax returns? So what is the basic? Like they say no. So before say if I want to file, if I ask you this point, if I want to file income tax return of any person, if you are filing income tax return of any person in India, then what are the different things which you are going to ask? Sir, I am studying tax law for the first time in my life, sir. I have no idea about income tax law in India, sir. Yeah, if you have any idea. No, sir, I have no idea, sir. Okay. Let us say you are going to some place. For example, you are going to some say you are a person who is residing in Bangalore. Now you are going to, let us say you are going to Mumbai to study over there. Okay, for your studies purpose you are going to Mumbai. So before going to Mumbai, what are the different things which you are going to keep in your mind? What are the prerequisites or what are the preliminary work which you are going to do? What is that first few things which you are going to do before going to Mumbai? It is not that just like that you'll go to Mumbai, etc. There are some steps which you'll take before going to Mumbai. You will do what, sir? You will see where your institute is located. Sir, where is my institute located? You will see that. Correct. So in which institute are you going to study? Which area that institute is located? Is that area good or not? Is that area student friendly or not? Will I be able to find any PG or hostel rooms near that institute? So what about the food facility at that near that institute, wherever I'm in that area where I'm going to stay? What about the food facility? Will I have vegetarian options? Will I have non-vegetarian options? Will I get the food which I want, etc.? So there are some work which you are going to do, right? Similarly, now you have decided, okay, I will go over there and stay in some PG and hostel. So there are from 5-6 PG options available to you. Which PG will you select? Whether the PG has the proper facility which you want, whether they have good bedrooms, they have good study rooms, etc., whether they are maintaining it hygienically or not. So there are some basic work which you are going to do. Correct, not correct? Basic work which you are going to do. So that basic work which you have to do before filing a tax return, what are the basic work? So if any client is coming to you, I am asking you in general, you just tell me in general only. If any client is coming to you, towards you, if the client is coming to you, say I am coming to you as your client, telling, sir, please help me file my income tax return. What are the different things which you are going to ask me? What is that particular thing which you are going to ask that particular client is something which you are going to see now. So what are those different things, sir, which I am going to ask that client, sir? You are going to ask that client point number 1. So there are different points which they have given in the law. So we are going to study about all those different points. So first thing which I am going to add. So the question over here is, what are the, of course, they'll not ask this question in examination, but just for my understanding purpose, I'm writing this question. What will you ask? What will you ask a client if he comes to you for filing his, if he comes to you for filing his return? So what are the different things which you are supposed to ask? Actually, because we are studying the law, they are now going to tell you what are the different things which you should ask them. So first thing which you should ask them is, the first thing which you should ask them is their prior year return. Sir, what, sir? What? You should ask their prior year return. In simple words, you should ask their last year return. So last year, have they filed any return? If they have filed the return, then you should ask them that return. Why, sir, I am going to ask the last year return? Because only when I see their last year return, it will help me to understand easily what are the income which they are earning. What was the income which they earned in that year? How much income they showed in that year? How much tax they have paid in that year? What are the different benefits which they have taken in that year? See, normally, if you ask a person telling, okay, tell me what are the different sources from where you are earning income, etc., he may lie you. Correct? So that person may not give you the correct answer to you. So for that reason, what normally government does is, not normally any person, no, what they'll do that background check. Correct, not correct? If you're going to get married to someone, what are you going to do with that person? You're going to do the background check. So just like that, you are going to ask that person's last year return. So by seeing that last year returns, what will I understand? You will understand what type of income he had. So whether he was earning income from any business, whether he was earning any income from by working in some company, whether he was an employee of some company, or is he an investor, has he invested money in some assets, etc. So what type of return is he filing, what type of income return is he filing? So that is the first question which you are going to ask. What is the, you are going to ask what's their prior year return. So this will help you identify, what's by asking their prior year return, you will be able to check what income they had, you will be able to check what income they had, you will be able to do comparison of taxes paid, comma, refund issued or deduction claimed by him. See, this is just basic points which I am writing. Okay, you'll get the notes, so you can do all these deductions. What are the significant changes from the previous year to last year? So what are those important significant changes? That significant changes you will be able to see. So last year he filed income tax return by showing income of 10 lakh rupees. This year he says no, he's earning only 6 lakh rupees. You will ask what is the reason that it is a low income? Or last year he earned an income of 10 lakh. This year he says my income is around say 50 lakh. How come there is such huge increment in your income? So what are the significant changes when compared to last year's income? In the current year, what are the significant changes which he is facing? Then second thing which I am going to ask is what? You are going to ask, you are supposed to ask, you are going to ask means you are supposed to ask these things. So we are studying the first topic. So what is that second thing which I am going to which I have to ask that person? Sir, you are required to ask something called as previous IRS correspondence. What else do you have to ask? You will have to ask something called as previous IRS correspondence. Sir, what do you mean by previous IRS correspondence? See, IRS is that Internal Revenue Service, correct? That is the authority. Like we have income tax department over here, income tax authority over here. They have something called as Internal Revenue Service. So IRS correspondence means what, sir? So it may be possible that he has filed his return, etc., and he has received some notices. Or letter from IRS. The department over there, the income tax department over there, has given him some notices, or it has given some letters. So you will have to ask him, have you received any correspondence, or have you received any notice or letter from the department over there? Sir, how is it that going to help? Say for example, that person has claimed some deduction. Now the IRS has sent him a notice or a letter telling, see, this deduction which you have claimed here, no, this is actually not allowable in this year. It will be allowed in next year. So is the data not important for you? Yes, sir, it is important for us. So we'll have to ask him what, sir? Previous IRS correspondence. So last year's previous prior year, you are asking prior year return, no? Just like that, you should ask for that year, have you received any correspondence? Have you received any correspondence? Now, sir, what do you mean by year, sir? You are telling prior year. Over here, no? In US countries, they don't have this concept of financial year, etc. Meaning, like we have in India, 1st April, etc. For them, the calendar year is only the year. What year means what, sir? Year means calendar year. When I say year over here, I am talking about which year, sir? I am talking about calendar year. Only in some cases, see, calendar year means what, sir? From 1st of January to 31st of December. Okay. So whatever, now For whatever income they are earning in a calendar year, they will have to file the return in the upcoming year. Okay, we'll see that. We'll see what is the due date of filing return, etc. So for a particular year, say, let us say current calendar year is 2025. Now, if a person has come to you for filing his income tax return, if a person has come to you telling, sir, please help me file my tax return for the year 2025, what will you ask him? You will ask him last year's informations. Sir, what information will I ask, sir? You will ask the information with respect to 2024. Give me the return for the year 2024. Give me the notices or IRS correspondence of 2024. I want to know what is the department thinking about you. I want to know what is the benefits which you had taken in last year, which you were not supposed to take, etc. Correct? So these are the things which you have to ask. So you will have to ask second thing, what, sir? IRS correspondence. Sir, what do you mean by IRS correspondence? IRS correspondence means IRS correspondence are the letters or notices received by taxpayer from IRS, Internal Revenue Service. We need this to check if there is any item affecting current year return. So is there anything which is going to affect our current year's return? If I want to know that, I will have to have that previous year's correspondent, previous IRS correspondent. Then, sir, I understood point number 1, that you are supposed to take last year's return. Then I understood, sir, point number 2, I should take last year's IRS correspondence. Then, sir, what else should I ask the person? You tell me, what will you ask? Sir, the third thing which you have to ask is the personal information. Sir, what's sir? Personal information? Yes. Sir, but we should not ask anyone their personal information. No. But here you'll have to ask. Here, while filing somebody's return, no, you'll have to ask their personal information. Sir, what the personal information means? What, sir? Whether they are married or not married. What is their age? Sir, age we can ask, sir. Sir, in India, they say we should not ask an age from any age of any person. Yeah, they say all those things, but there you can ask. You can ask what you are not asked in India. Also, you are supposed to ask only. So you'll have to ask for what, sir? You'll have to ask for personal information. What is the date of birth of that person? When was that person born? What is his age? What is his marital status? Is he married or not married? If he is married, now there are few things. No, there are few things which you may feel, sir. What are you talking about, sir? Whatever I'm talking is actually something in US countries. These are very normal. There are few things which are very normal. So, what is your marital status? Are you married? Are you married with divorcee? Or are you married and divorced? Are you married and is your spouse dead? Are you married with same-sex gender? So you have to ask all these things, because the benefits which the government is giving you over there will depend on your status also. Are you a single person? Are you married and divorced? Please note, over there, married and divorced is not called a single person. Single means a person who is not married at all. We'll read about all those points later in the topics coming. But you have to ask this information. Is that person married? Then is there any person who is dependent on him? Does he have any children who are dependent on this person? Do he have any parents who is dependent on him. So all this information, personal information, is required to be asked. Sir, why all this personal information are required to be asked? Because the benefits which you are going to get, the deductions which you are going to get, the exemptions which you are going to get while filing your income tax return will be based on your status. Okay, we'll see all those things. Of course, this is just a theoretical concept which I'm right now discussing. When we enter into the practical world, it will be more beautiful. Okay, so here personal information. The personal information of client is very important. To claim deductions and exemptions. Then what personal information? Personal information such as date of birth, age, marital status, dependents. Dependent means, are there any person who are dependent on him to live their life? Then what else should I ask from a client who is coming to me? If a client is coming to me, sir, I have done this course, sir, now I am eligible to file the return. No, sir. So a client has come to me, sir. Sir, I understood that from that client, I should ask him his last year's return. I should ask him any communications or letters or notice which he has received from his previous IRS. And sir, I also understood that I should ask him his personal information. Sir, I have asked all these things, sir. Now tell me, sir, what else should I ask him, sir? I am very excited, sir. I want to know, sir, because this is the first client who has come to me. I want to know what are the different things which I can ask him, sir. What else should I ask, sir? You should ask his nationality. You should ask what, sir? Nationality. Sir, nationality should I ask, sir? Yes. We should see his we should do his immigration test, whether which country he is a citizen of, whether he is an US citizen. In US, whether he is a resident alien or he is a non-resident alien, because based on that, the taxability of income will be depend. Correct? We saw some points like that. You should see what, sir? You should see his nationality. What will this nationality? We need to know his nationality we need to know his nationality and check his immigration status. And check what status, sir? Immigration status and or citizenship. Basically, you should check if he is wherever I am using the word he, it can be she also. Sir, actually, sir, you are everywhere you are using he only. Sir, but the client which I got is a female, sir. No problem. Wherever I am using the word he, it includes she also. Okay, enjoy. Check if he is US citizen, resident alien, non-resident alien. Next, sir, now I asked that person's nationality, sir. Now tell me, sir, now what should I ask, sir? Now what should I ask? Now basically you should determine whether he is individual or a business. Determine whether he is individual, meaning basically, are you filing your income tax return as an individual or as a business? So determine whether that person is individual, because if you're an individual, see, Why this point is important? See, normally what happens is business over here does not means the income which you are earning from business. See, normally what people think business means, the business which normally people are doing, there is a shop near your house which is selling medicines, there is a shop which is selling grocery items, etc. That person is doing business, correct? Not correct, that person is doing business. So here it is it is very important for us to understand whether that person is an individual or a business. So what do you mean by he is an individual or a business, sir? An individual, for example, Mr. Dilip, I am working somewhere, I am earning salary. So I have an income from what source, sir? The source of that income is salary. Now I have my own practice. I'm practicing as a chartered accountant. So what is the source of that income, sir? The source of that income is a business or a profession. Correct? No. So I will not be called as, just because I am having a business and I'm doing that particular kind of business, I will not be called as business. I will still be called as individual only. So individual is having different types of income, correct? I am having two businesses. I am having one my CA practice, I am having a sari business, I am having an electronic business, etc. Now they will all fall under my category only. Just because I'm having three types of business, will I be called as a business associate? No. Business means what, sir? Over here business means, are you a corporation, private limited company? Are you any corporation? If you are a corporation, you will be called as business. Okay, so here you are supposed to determine. So just because a person is earning income through business, it does not mean that he is a business. So here you are supposed to determine what is his status, whether he is an individual or a business. So I'll just write one point. Individual having any source of income, individual having any source of income will be taxable. Individual having any source of income will be taxable in his hands. An individual having any source of income will be taxable in his hands only. Business are separate entities. Business are separate entities for whom tax returns should be filed separately. For whom what, sir? Tax return is required to be filed separately. Okay, sir. I understood, sir. What you understood? Sir, I understood that I will have to ask prior year return, previous correspondence, personal information, nationality, and whether he, with what type of assessee is, whether he is a business or he is not a business. Okay, so there are some expenses which are not specifically allowed if you are an individual. See, why it is important is, if you are a business, you can take benefit of lot of expenses, but if you are individual, no, there are a lot of benefits which will not be given. Personal expenses will not be allowed as your deduction. When you are computing your income, you cannot claim personal expenses as your deduction. You cannot claim the deduction of life insurance premiums which you have paid. You cannot claim deductions of whatever say you have purchased a vehicle, etc. For that vehicle which you are using for your personal purpose, you cannot claim the benefit of that. Whatever food you are eating, whatever clothes you have purchased, etc., whatever money you are paying to your maid, domestic help, you cannot pay, you cannot claim deductions of all those things. So that is the reason. See, but if you are a business, no. For example, if I'm having business, I can always treat like we have many corporations in India, very big companies in India. Whatever expenses, even if they are incurring for their personal purpose, no, they will show as an expenses related to business. They'll show it as an expenses related to business, and they'll take the benefit over there. Correct? So here you're going to determine whether he's a business or individual. Next, point number 6. You are supposed to see in his current year's details which he has given. You are supposed to see, are there any items which are affecting future years? So he has given all the information now. He has told, okay, sir, this is the details of the income which I have earned, the expenses which I have made, the investments which I have made, etc. Now you should see, are there any items which are affecting future years? See, please note, this future years has two relevance over here. Whatever current year related items which are affecting future years, and you should also see your previous year return. Previous year return, when you are seeing your last year, prior year return, you should see, are there any items of those years which are now affecting the current year. So you should see what, sir? You should see items affecting future years. For example, there was a loss in last year. Normally what happens, if you have a loss in some year, you can carry forward those losses, you can bring forward those losses for future years and adjust against the income of that year. Okay, so that whether that kind of adjustment is there or not. Now under in US countries, what they do is, even if you are not earning an income, but if you are involved in charitable work, even if you are normally, when does a person do charity? Whenever he is earning any income, he will give charity, he will be involved in charitable work. But over there, no, even if you are a person who is not earning an income, say last year I did not have an income, but I did lot of charitable work. Say I had my parents had bought a lot of things for me, my personal belongings, my clothes, etc., my shoes, my car, my bike, etc. Now I have given that as charity to different people. So that benefit, because it was, because you did not have an income last year, you could not have taken the benefit of the charitable work which you did in last year. Now you can take it in this year. If there was a loss in the last year, now you please take the against current year income, you please adjust that losses. So what is important, sir? Check the items which are affecting the past years, sorry, future years. What will be included over here? Past years losses, past years losses to be adjusted in current year. Then if you have any AMT credit, we'll understand about this AMT credit. AMT means alternate minimum tax. Okay, if you would have paid extra tax in last year, then you can take the benefit of those taxes. We'll study about this AMT credit. Then any charitable gift which you have given and which is now carried over, the benefit of which you did not get last year, therefore you are carrying over it to current year. Next, point number 7. What else is required, sir? Check whether he has paid all required taxes. All required taxes are filed. Now, a person who is earning income does not only have to pay income tax. I mean, income tax is so definitely there. But apart from that, no. If he is working somewhere, then he will have to pay tax on his employment. Then there is something called as AMT, if whether he has paid that tax or not. There is something called as estate tax, whether he has paid that estate tax or not, if it is applicable to him. If he is gifting it to, I mean, if gifting provisions are applicable to him, has he paid that gift tax or not? Is there any withholding of taxes done? Is there any TDS deducted? In Indian language, if I want to say withholding of taxes means what, sir? Is there any TDS deducted on the income which is earning? So that details you should see. You should see whatever different types of taxes is required to be paid by that person. Has he paid and filed the returns? I mean, he has he filed, in the sense, has he paid all those taxes? This will include what, sir? determine the taxes applicable to the taxpayer. So what are the different taxes which is applicable to him, and whether those taxes are paid by him. So check what are the different taxes which are applicable to him. Example, income tax. Example, estate tax. So if it is applicable, of course. Example, your employment tax or self-employment tax, withholding tax, etc. Okay, whether you have paid these taxes or not, whatever taxes is applicable to you, have you paid those taxes? You should tell that. You should determine that. You should check all those things, because you are supposed to do the reporting. No, if he has not followed anything, you are supposed to tell that point to the government. Then, is there any special filing requirements applicable to him? Is there any special filing requirement applicable to him? Meaning what, sir? See, normally we understood somewhere US citizen and resident alien, they are treated as same for the purpose of income tax law. They'll have to pay tax on worldwide income. So are there any special provisions applicable? So are there any people from non-resident alien who is earning income over there, and do he has to pay any taxes? So is the person who is filing the return, is he liable to pay tax on his worldwide income? Is he liable to pay tax on his foreign income, or is he liable to pay tax on his US source income? What is the income on which he has to pay the taxes? So you'll have to determine what are the special filing requirements applicable to them. Now, whether they are filing the joint return or they are filing individual return. So all these things is something which you have to know. So special filing requirement, with respect to this, what should be seen, sir? You should see US citizen, and wherever I'm writing RA, that means what's a resident alien, are treated as same for tax filing. Check whether about the taxable income. So what is the taxable income? Whether foreign income is taxable or not taxable. Do the discrimination between foreign income, worldwide income, US source income, etc. So what is applicable to you? Depending upon that, you should pay the taxes on those income. Then there are some reporting requirements which you have to do. So because there is some reporting requirement, you should know about the financial assets and financial accounts which a person has. Sir, what do you mean by this? Reporting, I'll just write this. Reporting foreign financial accounts. Reporting of foreign financial accounts and reporting of specified financial asset. You are required to do two types of reporting. Sir, what are these two types of reporting, sir? You are required to do reporting with respect to what? Financial accounts which you have, And you are required to do reporting of what, sir? You are required to do reporting of financial accounts what you have and financial asset what you have. Please note, this financial asset and financial accounts which I am talking about is not that which is located in US, but that which is located in foreign country. If you have any foreign financial asset, or if you have any foreign financial account as on the last day of the previous year. I should check this as on which day, sir? Whether a person has any as on the last day of the previous year, as on last day of the year, last day of the year. So as on the last day of that particular year, so whichever year you're filing the return for, as on the last day of that year, do you have any foreign financial account? Do you have any foreign financial asset? If you have any foreign financial account and if you have any foreign financial asset, you are required to do the reporting of the same. Sir, what is the difference between foreign financial account and foreign financial asset? Let us say there is a person called as Mr. James. Now James, he is a US citizen. Now James has asset. James has what, sir? James has a property in Dubai. James has purchased shares of, say, Tata Motors in India. Okay, he has purchased shares of Tata Motors in India. James has a bank account in London. Now, these things are called as what, sir? The bank account which he has outside his country, which is US, is called as what, sir? Foreign financial account. And these are the assets which is holding outside US. These are called as foreign financial asset. So do you have any asset which you have which is located outside India? Is there any foreign financial asset? Is there any foreign financial account? Now basically what the lawmaker says is, if you have a foreign financial asset, you are required to report about that. You are required to report about foreign financial account. Sorry, if you have any foreign financial account, you have to report it as per FBAR, and that reporting is required to be done in a form called as Form FinCEN. You are required to file this report called as Form FinCEN Report 114. Whereas if you have any foreign financial asset, you have to report that. For reporting that, you will have to file a form called as Form 8938. Very important form. You will have to file a form called as what, sir? Form 8938. Now here there are two MCQ questions which are asked normally. Foreign financial accounts are required to be filed as per what, sir? FBAR. And foreign financial accounts are required to be reported in which form? 8938. Sir, you are telling, you are talking something about FBAR. Sir, what do you mean by this FBAR, sir? FBAR, I'll write full form. FBAR means what, sir? Report of foreign bank and financial account. Okay, it is called as what, sir? Report of foreign bank and financial account. Report of foreign bank and financial accounts. When are you supposed to do the filing of this, sir? You are required to do the filing of this at the time of filing your return. When you are filing your return, no, Normally the return is filed after 4 months from the end of the year. So whenever the calendar year is getting ending, after 4 months from the end of calendar year, you're required to file your return by 15th of that month. For example, if I just want to give an example, the recent year which got over was 2024. Correct? The recent calendar year was 2024. For this, when is the return required to be filed? Please note, we are going to learn about this, but just for knowledge purpose, I am telling the return. What is the return which they have to file, sir? The income tax return which they have to file is called as Form 1040. So this Form 1040 is required to be filed by 15th of April. Provision says what, sir? Once the year is ending, fourth month, 15th of fourth month of the from the year end, you are supposed to file this return. Now, at the time when you are filing this return, you are also required to give the information about these two items. If you have these items, of course, whichever item is applicable to you, along with this return, you will have to attach that document also. For example, along with your return, you will also have to give this FBAR report along with your return. Sir, this due date, if government wants, they can extend up to October 15th. But anyways, we will see all these things later. Now, sir, when is it mandatory required to be filed? Any person, see, who has to give this information with respect to financial accounts, sir? I'll write it here. Financial account related information, who has to give, sir? Financial account related information is required to be given by US citizen or a resident person in US or a person doing business in US, or if you're a person who is doing business in US, or a person who is doing business in US who has signing authority. Who has what, sir? Signing authority of a financial account in foreign country. Who has signing authority of financial account in which country, sir? Foreign country. And what they say, and the aggregate value, the total value is more than $10,000. The total value is more than how much, sir? The total value is more than $10,000 in a year. The total value is what, sir? Throughout the year, in a year, the total value in that particular account is more than $10,000 in a year. For example, let us say there is James. He has account in two country. Let us say country X and country Y. In country X, he has 6,000 rupees. 6,000 rupees in the sense $6,000. And country Y, he has $4,001. Now, can I say the total amount which he has is $10,001? Therefore, he has to give the details of these accounts. Sir, what if I have account in foreign country but the amount is less? Amount is less than this limit. Then you don't have to do any reporting. Then, sir, who has to do this reporting of foreign financial assets, sir? Sir, tell me, sir, who has to do the reporting of foreign financial asset? If you are an individual living in US, who has to do this, sir? If you are an individual living in US. Please note here, the differentiation is based on whether you are living in US or you are living outside US. If you are an individual who is living in US and has, if you are an individual living in US and has financial asset more than $50,000 at end of year, or more than $75,000 at any time during the year. So if you have more than how much? If you have more than $50,000 as on the end of the year. End of the year is nothing but 31st of December. When I say end of the year, what do you mean by this? 31st of December, if I have assets worth more than $50,000 outside India, or during the entire year, as on the last day, whether I am having or not, it does not matter. During the entire year, if I had assets more than $75,000 during the anytime during the year, then I will have to do this. But sir, what if I am not a person who's living in US? Individual living outside US. Sir, what are you talking about, sir? A person who is living outside US, he also has to give this information? Yes, if you are required to file your return over there, then you have to give this information. If you are a person who is living outside US, for you the limit is more than $2 lakh at end of year, more than $3 lakh at any time of the year. So at any time during the year, if you have more than $3 lakh, or at any time during the year, if you have more than $2 lakh, you will have to give this information. So here you will have to file a form called as form 8938. You will have to file what, sir? 8938. This form is very important. The limits are not important at all. Please note, limits are not important. The form is important. Okay, sir. Sir, this is something which I have understood, sir. This form which is there, it is required to be attached with, I'll write this also, attached with your normal income tax return, which is form 1040. Okay, your whatever form 1040 is there, you are required to attach this information with that. Sir, how many other documents are we supposed to ask? Sir, we have already asked 8 to 9 documents, sir. Are there any other documents? Yes, there are 2 more documents which are required to be asked by us. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 2 more documents. We'll check the 2 more documents. Then our unit 1, chapter 1 ka unit 1 is completed. Once we discuss about the 2 more documents, our chapter 1 ka unit 1 is completed. Please note, this unit 1 of chapter 1 is basically theoretical. What are the different things you are going to ask your client? What are the things which you are going to ask your clients? Okay, now we'll see the next document. Next 2 documents are easy documents. What is the next document, sir? The next document which they have is, if you have transaction with any trust, if you have done any transaction with foreign trust, sir, what do you mean by trust, sir? Oh, sir, what do you mean by trust? Sir, trust, does that mean that whatever my girlfriend was telling me yesterday, she told me that you don't trust me, are they talking about that trust, sir? If I have a girlfriend outside India, and if she says that you don't trust me, then does that is it talking about that transaction? No. Okay, it is not talking about that. Foreign trust, transaction with foreign trust means what, sir? Trust over here is not your trust which we see, a person should trust us, etc. The trust which we have, like which we have over here. No, it is not the trust. Trust means what, sir? Basically, trust is an entity which legal entity which or legal arrangement which we are doing. It is an arrangement which we are doing wherein a person, I'll just in simple example I'll give you. For example, let us say I have a property, or uh, I have a daughter. Now for my daughter, no, my daughter is very young. Let us say she is 4 year old. Okay. Now my daughter is very young. Now to my daughter, no, for the benefit of my daughter, I have saved some money in my life. Now this money I have given to whom, sir? I have given to HDFC Bank. Please note, I am taking example uh, uh, using the Indian names, etc. You'll understand the concept with this example, so you don't have to worry about that. So what Dilip has done, by the way, my name is Dilip. I have not introduced myself. My name is Dilip. I am a chartered accountant. I am practicing chartered accountant in Bangalore, and I am also an educator, and I teach at various different levels of CA, CS, CMA, and of course your beautiful course called as EA. Yeah. So yeah, so what I have done is I have some money with me. I have given my money to HDFC Bank, and I have told the HDFC Bank that this money I am giving it to you for the benefit of my daughter. Okay, so over here Dilip is called as guarantor. Okay, the grantor, sorry, Dilip is called as what, sir? Not guarantor, grantor. Dilip is called as grantor. Bank is called as trustee. And my daughter is called as what, sir? My daughter is called as beneficiary. Now I have told what, sir? I have told the bank to invest this money and fund for her education, fund for her basic needs. Whatever needs are there, you please fund for. See, please note, in India normally we have a culture of what, sir? The parents only will take care of their children, etc. But what happens in outside India is they form this kind of trust wherein they'll give the money to the trust, a particular trust, and they'll tell that please use this money for the maintenance of my child. You please take care of the education of my child, you please maintain my child, etc. So, and this money which is there, you give it back once. Say I gave this 50 lakh rupees to the bank, and I told you please take care of my daughter's education, etc. And once she turns 21 years, once she becomes 21 years, you please give that money to her. So till 21 years, it is your responsibility to take care of this money which I am giving you, and maintain the daughter education, etc. Okay, so here I will be called as the person who is creating the trust. Who is guarantor, sir? The person who is creating the trust. Then who is trustee? The person in whose or the institution who is going to manage the asset given by me. Now please note, I'm talking about the money over here. It can be a house also which I'm giving for the benefit of my daughter. So it is the institution or the person who is going to manage the asset which is given, and beneficiary is the person who is going to get benefit out of this trust which is formed. It can be one person, more than one person, etc. So this is basically a trust. Correct. So this is basically a trust. Now what is this point telling? This point is telling, do you have any, I'll keep this so that you can, for your understanding, it may help you. What is this point telling? This point says, if you have any transaction with foreign trust, you are required to file a report. You are required to file a form called as (3520). If you have any transaction with foreign trust, you have to file a form called as 3520. Okay, the importance of this point is only this much. So if you have understood what do you mean by foreign trust? It is an arrangement which you are making. So what do you mean by foreign trust, sir? If a US citizen is making, if a person residing in US is making arrangement with trust in any foreign country, sir, why will they do the trust in foreign country, sir? For taxation purpose. See, all these rich people who are there, no, in US there is something called as inherent tax. So if parent's property, if the child is inheriting the parent property, no, the child will have to pay something called as inherent tax. So what these parents do, they will give all the property to a trust. They will create a trust. They will formulate a trust, and they'll give all their income, they'll give all their earnings throughout all the savings to the trust, and the trust is going to manage that particular asset property for the benefit of these beneficiaries who are there. Okay. So if you have any, like, I mean, even Bill Gates has done that. Even Bill Gates has done that, or many, mostly all the rich people have done that. And sir, why do they have open it in foreign country? They will select some country where there is no taxation applicable, or where there is very less taxation applicable. In US, the maximum rate of tax which you have to pay is almost 37%. So instead of that, better we transfer it to that country where the taxation is very less. So they do all these arrangements. So if you have any foreign trust, if you have invested, or if you have money, if you have done any transaction with foreign trust, you please give the information with respect to that by filing this form along with your return. Please file this form called as form 3520. Then the last thing which you have to ask is if they have any interest in foreign partnerships. So if they have any interest in foreign partnerships. Sir, what do you mean by interest in any foreign partnership? Foreign partnership, see, please note, we have Indian Partnership Act, correct? So if any partnership firm is registered in India, that will be called as Indian partnership firm, correct? So just like that, if any partnership firm is registered in US, they are US partnership. But if there is a partnership which is created outside US, if there is any partnership which is created outside US, and if you are having any interest in that, interest means what, sir? If you are member of that partnership, if you are member of that partnership, if you are having any voting rights in that partnership, then it will be called as what, sir? Foreign partnership. Okay, that means what, sir? It is a foreign partnership. So if you have interest in that foreign partnership, you are required to do the reporting of that interest. And this reporting, in which form you have to do? You will have to file a form called as form 8865. You will have to file a form called as 8865. Now please note here, whatever form number I am writing, no, these are important forms. Sir, so many different forms you have used, no, sir? Yes, that is what is important over here. Okay, I'll write 2 lines about foreign partnership. Foreign partnership means what, sir? A foreign partnership is any partnership a foreign partnership is what, sir? Any partnership that is not created or organized in US or under US law. So if any partnership is not organized in United States or under US laws, then it is called as foreign partnership. So if you have any, if you are a person who is having any foreign partnership, then you'll have to file. If you are having any interest in any foreign partnership, then you'll have to give that reporting. You'll have to report about those interests which you have in foreign partnership in this form called as form 8865. Okay. So this is all about this first topic. I mean, this is part unit. We are discussing chapter number 1, part A, individuals. In that we are discussing what's our filing requirements. This is your chapter number 1. In this chapter number 1, the first point which we have taken in this chapter number 1, so I will call it as unit 1 of chapter 1. Let us call it as 1.1. 1. So we have discussed this unit 1 of chapter 1. Sir, can you please can we once revise whatever we have discussed today, sir? Yes, we will quickly revise whatever we have discussed today. So we started our discussion with understanding about the course. What is this course all about? Who can get enrolled to this course? What will a person be able to do once he becomes an enrolled agent, etc. And then we started discussion with the subject. Now we understood what is tax and who gives the power to levy taxes. We understood there are totally three types of taxes. One is tax on what you are earning, one is tax on what you are buying, and one is tax on what you are owning. Correct? Then we understood the nature of taxes, which is progressive or regressive. Then we saw we started our discussion with first chapter called as under individual. See, we are going to discuss about part 1. So we are discussing what, sir? We are starting our discussion with which part? We are going to we are starting our discussion with part 1. Part 1. What is part 1? Individuals. In that we are discussing the first chapter, which is filing requirements and due dates. So in this filing requirements and due dates, before starting the discussion, we understood that a person, for filing the return purpose, he can be divided into three categories. One is US citizen, one is a resident alien, one is non-resident alien. US citizen and resident alien are treated as same for the purpose of income tax laws of that US country, and non-resident alien is not treated on par with them. A non-resident alien will have to pay tax only on the income which is earning from US. But if you are a resident alien and if you are a US citizen, you will have to pay tax on whatever global income you are earning or worldwide income you are earning. So how will I come to know whether a person is a resident alien or non-resident alien? A person will be non-resident alien if he does not satisfy the green card test, or if he does not satisfy the substantial interest test. Substantial interest test means what, sir? The number of days you are staying in that country. Now, there are two documents which are issued by the people to taxpayers by the people in by the government of US. One is called as Social Security Number. It is like the Aadhaar card which we have in India. Another one is called as Individual Tax Identification Number. It is like our PAN card which we have in India. So it is Individual Tax Identification Number which you are supposed to use while filing your income tax return. So now the first topic in our chapter number 1 is called as preliminary work for tax return preparer. So a tax return preparer, what is the prerequisites, what is the work which he has to do before filing the return of any person? So if a client is coming, what are the different things which he has to ask that client? What are the different things which he should take from his client? The things are prior year return, last year's return he should take. Then last year's any IRS correspondence is there. Personal information, nationality details. Then determine whether he is an individual or a business person. Are there any items which are affecting the future periods? Are all the requirements of all the required different types of taxes filed or not filed? What are the special filing requirements applicable to these people? Is this reporting under foreign reporting of foreign financial assets and foreign financial accounts have been made or not made, and respective forms have been filed or not filed? Is that person having any interest in foreign trust, or if he is having any interest in foreign partnership, and if he has any transaction with foreign trust? Then those information are something which you have to give. This is all about this fantastic point with respect to the first concept or first topic which we have discussed. Now let us take a break and meet in the next class for discussing the other aspects with respect to this chapter. Let me meet you in the next class. Till then, tada, bye bye, take care, enjoy, happy learning.
Hi guys, we have exciting news today. If you look at ArivuPro, we have always been innovating, right from our subscription models to on-demand exams, giving recorded classes. We have been friend of innovation, and today we are very happy to launch one such a very innovative program, and we are calling it ArivuPro 1. So what is this ArivuPro 1? ArivuPro 1 is nothing but 10 certifications in one program. Yes, you heard me right. You can earn 10 certification by doing this one program. Now you can do your BCom, CA, CS, CMA, ACCA with exemptions, CMA USA, EA, CIA, FRM, skill-based course certifications. All these 10 certifications, ArivuPro 1 is going to offer you. Now, by choosing ArivuPro 1, you can get to choose all these courses. If you want to do CA, CS, all the courses you want to do, you can do it. It is not that if you do CA, you cannot do CS. That's the speciality of this ArivuPro 1. We are launching a new program, a very innovative program, a pain point which we want to address. Because students join some normal BCom, they go outside for professional courses, or sometimes they offer, they join BCom with CA, and if they get stuck, they are not able to migrate to another program. We want to address this problem. That's where we introduce ArivuPro 1. In this program, you are not confined by one professional course. You have the choice to do any 10 professional courses, right? You can do any of these professional courses or all the 10 professional courses, you can do it. The choice is with you. You can do it from Chennai, you can do it from Coimbatore, you can do it from Bangalore, or you can do it online from all over India. This is the course. For more details, right, we will be releasing more videos on this course. You can call my team and they will be more than happy to explain this course. Spread the word. Those who are looking for undergrad programs with professional courses, ArivuPro 1 is the choice. One program, 10 certifications, infinite opportunities. See you guys. Bye-bye. Hi guys, we have exciting news today. If you look at ArivuPro, we have always been innovating, right from our subscription models to on-demand exams, giving recorded classes. We have been friend of innovation, and today we are very happy to launch one such a very innovative program, and we are calling it ArivuPro 1.